So quickly before we start, I thought I would just mention this video does have gore, violence, and kind of spooky themes in general. So if you don't like any of that, this is probably not your video or your event. So on to the actual video. Hi, welcome back to Orlando Experience. So today, obviously you saw the title, we're at Horror Nights. This is the first night, August 30th, 2024 for Horror Nights this year. Very excited to be here. Obviously I'm a little scared. First night every year is always very scary. All the actors are very hyped up because this is kind of their start. It did kind of start yesterday, sort of, kind of. There was a special ticket this year that was like $350, but you get to go early. They post lines, it was limited, and it looked very fun, but I didn't really want to spend that money while also buying a pass. So we're here. We'll bring you around tonight. We'll go through all the scare zones. We'll go ahead and start heading through some houses, let you know how they are. Don't know if we're going to be seeing Nightmare Field tonight. I don't want to stay too late because I've got some plans tomorrow. So we'll see what we can get done tonight. But again, very excited for the houses. I've heard very good things. Insidious, I've heard, is one of the scariest houses they've ever done. So I'm very excited to try that at some point. But expect a lot of Horror Nights videos coming up in the next 2 weeks because we'll be going a lot with you guys. So it's actually not looking too bad so far. We're about 30 minutes to start. This isn't too bad of a line, but we're here a little bit early to catch scaremonies right off the bat. So we've officially made it in. Not too much of wait. They've gotten very good at scanning people in here. Obviously very loud. I've heard this front scare zone is really only chainsaws, not much else up here. So we're gonna be heading along and we're gonna be actually heading straight back to Torture Fair and that kind of area. And I think our first house might be Major Suites. So obviously it's opening night, so we're expecting some very long lines. Already 65 for a quiet place, but these back houses do open for Stay and Scream first. So these are always gonna have a little bit of longer lines initially. So we're not gonna be hitting any of these right now. We'll probably come back later tonight and see what we can hit back here. But we're gonna head towards the back where the lines usually aren't as bad. we will be coming back to the scare zones probably in a little bit, especially when it's dark, to see what they look like when it's dark. But right now we're really trying to make it back to major suites. Maybe not in 60 minutes, so we're going to continue on towards the back, I think towards either Goblins or possibly Museum. So definitely already so much better there. I've always felt like the exit kind of area for Fast and Furious Scare Zone has always been kind of weak. I mean, they've done good with it before, but that initially is already so much better. It has a lot of actors in it, and it's a little more open instead of trying to condense a lot of props in there. I feel like last year it was almost too much in there, where you almost couldn't see where the actors were sometimes. So definitely a lot better initially this year. I think we're heading back to Museum for our first house. It's only 10 minutes. Then we might circle right around to Slaughter Cinema because it's only 15. So interesting enough, I didn't even know Museum's entrance is over here in the Simpsons queue line. So we're hopping in line, 20 minutes. So yeah, just using the Simpsons queue. So we'll pick up towards the front of the house, get the facade, and then we'll pick up after we're out. So we've made it. We're at the front of our first house. We will not be able to take you with
of our newest exhibit.
We'll see you guys afterwards.
This fall.
So we just got the Museum Deadly exhibit. That was a great first house. I didn't think it was overly scary, but I didn't think it was not scary. There was a couple parts that got me pretty good. Its theme is kind of like a new exhibit came into the museum that's known to cause like mass devastation, like plagues and like dead crops and stuff. And then you kind of walk into the museum, it's kind of overgrown with this kind of like glowing vines, but it doesn't look super like earthy. Like it doesn't look like, it kind of looks more like slush, if that makes sense. Like it's just kind of everywhere. And there's people covered in it. There were some monsters fully of it. There was workers everywhere that were like all cut up and trying to survive and stuff. But it had some really cool scenes. There was a part with these glowing masking display cases that were moving. There were some really cool costumes in there. The part that I really noticed that I really liked was there's a part about halfway through the house, I think, that was a kind of like a Viking boat, kind of like a Viking Nordic part of the museum that you walk through, and some of the Vikings were like overgrown with it and like alive. So that was really cool. And the ending was cool too, with a lot of flashing lights. It's kind of like one of those endings where they're like blinding you at the end. And then there were some guys in like morph suits blending at the walls. So I thought very cool, but I think we're heading to another house. I'm not sure. It's either Goblin's Feast or Major Suites now, because they're about 45 to 30 minutes each. So we'll be heading to one of those next. So every wait right now is almost already an hour. So I figured if we're waiting an hour, let's go to one of the houses we really want to do. So we're heading into Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. I actually watched the movie for the first time just last night. I just never watched it. I didn't think it was too bad, but we're heading in. I've heard it's literally like a shot-for-shot remake of the movie, so kind of excited to see it right after watching the movie. So we actually only waited about 35 minutes and we're up here at the front. So we'll see you guys after Ghostbusters, The Frozen Empire. So we just got out of Ghostbusters, The Frozen Empire, and I really like that. It had really good sets. I wouldn't say it was overly scary either. There was a couple parts that I thought got me pretty good. If you've seen the movie, there's a part where you go into the lab and then right after that, there's like a quad jump scare all in one room that had a lot of the different monsters. It was really cool. There was a part where you saw like the dragon from the beginning and the end of the movie, the like ice dragon, just for a second in the sewer. And then the entry was really cool. You were walking the cult kind of bookstore thing, and there was like stuff shooting up and ice coming out of multiple places. And then by far the best scene was when you were coming up on the firehouse, and it was all like frozen, and it was like projection mapping, freezing it over, and there was snow blowing, and it was cold in that room. Super, super cool. Some really good effects in there. But I think we might be heading to Triplets of Terror right now, because it's only 35 minutes, so I think we're gonna hop in line for this. They got projections back here by Rip Ride Rocket again. HHN 33. We're having a great night so far. I really have enjoyed both the houses. We've gone into some really great effects in there. Actors are definitely working really well tonight. So having a good night overall. Excited to see what Triplets of Terror is like, because this was the one house this year that I wasn't super excited for, just because I wasn't really understanding the premise, because there wasn't much of one. But we're heading that way right now. So we've just about made it to the front of Triplets of Terror. Waited a little over 35 minutes. The line was moving very, very slow. But we are towards the front right now, and we'll see you guys after Triplets of Terror. So we just got out of Triplets of Terror. Again, it's basically what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't that exciting. I would say it's a pretty basic concept, just family murdering people. It seemed like it was like a story of almost like it's happened a lot. There's a few fun scenes. The beginning scene with the police car and you're walking into the house was kind of neat. I did like a lot the butcher scene. It had a lot of flashing lights and some water spraying that I thought was pretty neat. But overall, I just thought it was basically what I thought it was going to be. Not that exciting. I will say there was a lot of scares in that house. I wouldn't say they were very scary, but there was a lot of scares. Like there was a ton of them. Like they would like have almost every room with 3 or 4 of them. So good run through, but not my favorite. So we're walking past the tribute store right now. I don't think we're gonna go in. There's quite a line right now. I think we'll come back later in the night and go check it out. From what I've seen though, it's very, very cool, and I love the facade. But we're gonna walk back through Torture Fair again, but during the nighttime this time. So I'll bring you guys with us through Torture Fair. So back here is where the Quiet Place booth is. I don't think I'm too hungry tonight, so I don't think I'm gonna be getting too much. Might get a treat or two and show you guys, but for right now, we're just gonna continue with houses. It is obviously gotten very, very busy. Everything is easily over an hour right now, so we'll just have to hope that some of the lines we get into maybe are actually an hour. That'd be nice. This is quite the skyline this year. We're there by Men in Black and Simpsons. Looks really great. I love the colors on it. We do have some like kind of like runic symbols too up on the clock tower kind of thing over here. I think we're gonna be heading out to Diagon. I'll do my best to film back there. There's so much Harry Potter music, it's really hard to. So we'll try to film as much as we can. So as we're kind of coming up to Blumhouse, we'll walk through it during the nighttime. Sorry for kind of just going back and forth. We'll definitely hit the other scare zones here soon. Then we're gonna walk around back to the front here soon. They have rethemed this candy shop over here in San Francisco to Major Sweets. It's actually a really nice redo with a lot of actually work put into it, so I really like it. There's plenty of decorations in here. Some special stuff. I actually really like this Major Sweets shirt for this year. I think it looks really great. They do have some like specialty stuff, some pre-tried things, some Horror Night stuff. The Ghostbusters cotton candy down there. They also have some more major sweet stuff here. I think, if I'm not mistaken, yep, they do have a chocolate bar here. I'm loving how these Blumhouse logos look at night here. They look really great, especially with the actors up on stage. So over here, right past the Blumhouse Scare Zone, kind of on your way to the bar, they do have a Wolfman photo op. I don't know if they have an actor out here ever. I haven't seen one yet. It's for their new movie, but I haven't seen one, so they might have an actor at some point, but I'm not sure. But we're headed back into Diagon right now to go see the Death Eaters. So I really like the Death Eaters. I think they're a great addition to Horror Nights. I like they're kind of consistent. I like all the stuff they've added this year with a little more light effects. I really like the interactivity of them. They kind of feel like they kind of gun you down, or like they'll bother you when you're sitting on a bench. I like that. And I think the show they do in there is really great. So I would definitely say they're a great addition to the event, and I love that they're here. So we're gonna be walking towards past like Krusty Land and all that into the park to see Swamp of the Undead, and then we'll walk through Demon Queens too. I think I'm gonna do full walkthroughs of these, so we'll show you the whole scare zone just walking through. So now we're heading into Swamp of the Undead. I'm interested to see how the scare zone works because it's got a lot of props in it. So headed in now. Not a bad zone there. It's quite dark in there. It's very dark and they're pumping a lot of fog. It was definitely blinded me a couple times. But I think that's a pretty fun scare zone. Had a decent amount of actors in it, lots of props too. So overall pretty good. I'm gonna keep my rankings out of this video because we're just starting Horror Nights. I'm not gonna get all the houses tonight. I will start ranking houses probably by the third video. So if you're excited to see those, just stay tuned. But until then, we're just gonna keep doing houses, redoing them, and then we'll start ranking stuff when I get more of a feel for the event. We're heading into Demon Queens now. This is in Hollywood over here. I'm excited to see this one. It seems pretty good and there's a lot of props out, so excited to see what they got in here.
Right for yourself, but alas, you are incorrect. All of those are responses to your shit. You must face them, not push them down. Scream at your fears. Pretending not to be afraid as you run away. Look at them run. So afraid. Oh, how I love to see the false confidence break as I enter your mind. I can see your heart. Fears of the dark. Certain sounds. Oh gosh, the creatures that lurk within this realm. They make you uncomfortable. I sense some unease. Oh, their minds are faster, just as yours will be.
first impressions, I really like that. There was a ton of scare actors. They kind of funnel you almost in that scare zone with putting barricades up on the side, so you have to walk through like these like tentacle portal things. That was great. I love that. There was so many actors in there. They were literally like outnumbering people. I love zones that have like kind of a commanding presence almost, where there is like a central figure that's almost commanding over the zone. I think that was great. Again, no ranking, but overall first impressions, I love that one. So we made our way over here to the tribute store. Really cool facade on this, as you saw earlier. But we're gonna hop in line and we'll take you guys in with us. So we made it into the tribute store now. Well, kind of waddling in. There's quite the line in here. But I've seen the video they put out and it looks very cool in here. It's gonna be like an abandoned, I think it's like an abandoned subway system at the end, but the rest of the things kind of in like back alleys and rundown like convenience stores. We do have a few things of merch out here right at the front. So the whole kind of theme to the scare zone seems to be some sort of idol that could deliver to a museum, and that caused this like winged bat creature to roam New York and Central Park. If you remember from last year, there was a similar idol. You'll see it later on, I think, in the tribute store. We'll definitely show it. That kind of summoned like this like Cthulhu creature in one of the comics. So it seems like there's going to be some sort of idol lore kind of thing they're trying to build. So if you do remember a little bit before, there's an emergency broadcast basically saying to stay inside because of an unknown entity. If you do remember before when we were talking about construction, you can get your face on different products. So plenty of faces on the walls over here. But we're kind of in like a convenience store, rundown one that's selling like weapons and stuff. So they do have a bunch of Ghostbusters merch over here. They have this like acrylic sign and this pretty nice tumbler here. And then they do have this pretty cool wooden sign here with the Ghostbuster logo on it. A couple bags and stuff. Another Ghostbuster shirt here. Not a bad one. Then they do have like a trucker hat over here. Oh, and then like a blanket throw. A similar style. Got lots of Ghostbuster stuff in here. Some of this I have seen in other tribute stores previously, you know, the summer one. There's some stuff from there. So they do have some more Ghostbuster stuff. This is the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire stuff. They do have this candle though. It smells very good. I like this. It's kind of fruity. And even more Ghostbuster stuff. I do really like. I like this one. This wooden stand here. This looks really good. Plenty of Ghostbuster stuff in this room. And that shirt that we saw earlier, they do have a like full print of it. That again, I really like this. It's metal, and it's like it changes a little bit. It looks very nice. It's very shiny. I really like that. It's probably very expensive. Yeah, it's 50 bucks. Gotta assume that. And then they have like a little like cookie jar kind of thing. But I think wood actually, you know, that matches. So over here they do have a Mel's Die-In shirt that is glow in the dark, and this is pass holder exclusive, so only pass holders. But they have kind of a whole line of merch for it too, with a hat and another sign and a coaster. And then right here at the end of the room before you enter the next one, they do have this like 3D poster that I think is super cool. And it's only 18 bucks. It's not bad at all. Very, very cool. Right into the next room right now. QR code. Ooh, spooky. So I'm not positive. It brought me to Instagram, so I'm assuming it's a filter of some sort, but I couldn't get it to pop up for some weird reason. I love all the theming in here. Looks really great. Kind of in an alley right now. We're heading into another store over here. So here's a store that's kind of off of the design. Same shirt I'm wearing right now, actually. Kind of the overall design for this year. Similar kind of theme to it. This was shown in the video too, but there's like a base camp over here. Yeah, lots of props in this one. So over here is more Horror Nights merch. This is kind of the generic merch. This is the other cup you can get. I'll show you when I get out of here. I didn't show you. I got the new freestyle cup. That's the tumbler, but I like the other one more because I can clip it to my bag, so I don't got to carry it. And just like the shirt. I'm gonna walk right through the skull over here. Really like this room though. It's really cool. So the QR code over here does link to, we came back around, it does link to an Instagram filter that actually seems to have some like lore in it, like some entries from some survivors. So definitely one time we'll have to come in and find all the QR codes and show it to you guys. But for right now, we're just gonna go through the tribute store. So we're heading into the alleyway over here now.
There's that one.
It's kind of the alleyway in between the different rooms here in the tribute store. Oh, here's there's a bunch of Easter eggs in here, like the VHS from the most recent Scare Zone. Here's a couple more shirts over here. This one's really cool. It's kind of a comic, kind of like last year for the tribute store made villain. But it does have color changing ink, so when it's in direct sunlight, it will change color. That's really cool. We are kind of in the sewer now. I think the tribute store video did mention this is like below the museum where the idol was found. So you do have this cool display over here for a bunch of Quiet Place stuff, and this like Death Angel shirt and keychain and poster. You do have this candle that I will be giving a sniff. Kind of spiced apple in a weird sense. We have come across the treat booth that I've seen has some more interesting stuff this year. So they have a few different treat options this year and actually kind of switched up. They have these mini caramels, macaroons, some cookies. They do have this candy corn blondie, this ghost s'more. This looks really good. It's expensive, but cookies and cream top hat. They have a black forest trifle cake that smells Diane themed. And then they have these Ghost Trap blondies, and then these Slimer brownies. All look very, very good. Here's the prices for everything too. And right over here, we do have our icon shirt for the year with Sinister and Surreal on it. Sorry for the not as great lighting in here. It's okay. It's a little bland. But I do like this bag over here. This kind of more basic logo on it. Oh, here's another icon shirt. I didn't even see this one. Again, sorry about the bad lighting. So we're coming to our last area, that is kind of the checkout. And over here, we do have the subway station that, again, in the video is like below the museum where the idol was found. Lots of Chucky stuff along here. Chucky's obviously just such a fan favorite. They always have him here.
That's the shirt I have.
And then like a few more masks over here. These are all new. I've never seen these before. In any tribute store. More Chucky stuff. Plenty of Chucky stuff. They do have this. I don't love this collection, but I know some people do. And then they do have this Day of the Dead stuff right over here. It's never been in here before either, I don't think. I do really, really like this poster. This is definitely one I think I'm going to get this year. The blood is not like on the packaging, it's actually on the poster, so it's kind of cool. So I know we're heading out. You see the subway system here, a map of it. Then we do have the checkout, but I do appreciate they made a lot of checkout this year. Tons of it. So then right here at the end, we do have the Vampire of Legend. It's quite a big spot over here. I love this though, that it's at the end. It's similar to last year where they had the one hanging over at the end next to the register, but it looks really great. And you can kind of see the museum kind of caved in here. And you can see right at the top there, there's the idol. I don't know if I have a picture of last year, but yeah, there was like a Cthulhu idol that was very, very similar that sat up in the detective window. It might still be there. I'll go check, but yeah, very, very similar to that one. Then at the end, they do have a newsstand that I believe was 2 years ago. Maybe it was just last year that they had this, but it's obviously been boarded off. Here's another QR code if you do want to scan it. This one we did test, and it's another Instagram filter that's kind of just like a photo filter this time. But overall, I really, really like this tribute store. We'll talk a little bit more about it outside here. So overall, I really like the tribute store. I weirdly think that it would have fit better last year. If you went last year, there was a lot of like that kind of theme of post-apocalyptic with Last of Us and stuff. I think that would have fit significantly better last year. But I still think this year that looked great. I love that whole area. I do like how confined it is because it kind of makes it a more intimate experience. But definitely on these busier nights, especially first night, it's quite busy in there and it's hard to get around. It took us literally almost an hour to get through the whole thing and film everything and look at everything. So definitely plan on that. But other than the first couple weeks, I bet there's almost no wait to get in, if any at all. But overall, really like this one. I'm not sure what we're doing now. I know we're gonna go back through a couple scare zones. I won't make you guys watch them again. You already saw most of them. But we'll pick back up when eventually we do something more interesting. So not too long later, we made our way over here to Goblin's. It's very blurred out because it's very dark, but you can see it now. 60 minutes. And you know, you're not gonna get a whole lot better at this time for that time. So I don't think we're gonna be seeing Nightmare Filled tonight just because it's very busy and we'll have to line up probably like 45 minutes in advance. And we're not gonna be staying too late. So definitely another night though, but I'm very excited to see it. But on to Goblin's Feast. So here's the facade for Goblin's Feast. We're actually just now getting in line, so it's gonna be a minute, but very cool facade here. A lot of stuff here going on. I like the chimney, spear not smoke. Really, really nice facade here. Can't say the same about monsters, but we'll talk about that another night because I don't think we'll be doing that tonight. But very cool facade, so we'll see you guys after we get out of the house, about an hour from now. So we are just circling back around because Bloodlines is only 60. It actually kind of went down, so we're actually gonna do this right now. So I really liked Goblins there. I think that was super fun. It kind of had a campy atmosphere. Obviously the music was a little like jaunty and kind of had you jump in, and just a lot of the areas were cool. There was huge trolls, and there was like a part where you almost got grabbed by a huge troll hand. There was just tons of fun parts. At the end there was like a hobgoblin that was like very distinguished. He was a distinguished gentleman. I just thought overall it was a very funny atmosphere in there, and I definitely see why people are saying that's the fun house, because I had a lot of fun with it. It just had a fun atmosphere and it was just a good time overall. But we're in line for Bloodlines, as you saw. So we're gonna wait for this to go around. I probably won't film the facade because it's just a picture. Maybe I will though. But if you, definitely a good starting house is Goblins. If you're kind of a little more scared of this kind of stuff, it's a little more of a campy house while still keeping a little bit of the horror in there. So we just got out of Monsters. First, I really like the setup back there. I think that's really smart, that you can literally get out of one and you just walk straight into one of the other ones once you're exiting. But the actual house was really great. I love that there is a cohesive storyline again. I really liked Bride of Frankenstein. I think that's what it was just called, was just Bride of Frankenstein. Like 3 years ago, I think it was, during COVID. I really liked that there was kind of a full story going on, and this one had a lot of different sets. Again, spoiler warning, but it goes from, if you've listened to the podcast, definitely go listen to the podcast. You're gonna enjoy the house so much more, in my opinion. But you start off in the crypt, where she's mourning her brother, and then you move on to Egypt, and then you move on to a caravan camp where you find the she-wolf, and then you move to Dracula's castle. Dracula's castle is super cool. There's a few really good scenes in there with some like really cool parts. There's a part where Bride and Frankenstein and Van Helsing, or his daughter, was like murdering a bunch of the vampires in their coffins, and that was super cool. And big spoiler ahead, I'm going to tell you about the ending of the house. So if you don't like that, skip forward a few seconds. The ending of the house, at least right now, had Van Helsing and Bride of Frankenstein losing for us. I don't know if this is one where it's going to change like the other monster houses, but they definitely died at the end of the house, especially Van Helsing's daughter. So that was really cool. But it would be interesting to see if it switches up at all. I think the scare zone looks really great at night. I think all the lighting in the spot looks really, really fun. I really like the Blumhouse logos with the stages on them, with the scare actors on them. I think they look really, really great. Like the close up the film one. Oh, no one on that one, but you get the idea. I think they look really great at night. They're really well lit, and they look very clean and not cheap. So we got over here to Major Suites. It's actually bumped up to 60 minutes. Everyone saw it and ran over here. So we're actually going to be heading probably out. I think I'm going to try to get the treat as long as it's not closed. I want to get the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man s'more. As long as it's not closed though, that's the next thing you're seeing. So I did make it over here to the food booth over here for Ghostbusters at the Ivan's Deli. And I did get the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man s'more. It's literally just a s'more, but it's pretty because it's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And everyone says it's pretty good, so I figured why not get it. But we are heading out right now. I'll let you know on my ending thoughts what I think, because I'm probably going to eat it on my way out. But it is very cool looking. So that's officially it here for Halloween Horror Nights Night 1 of Horror Nights 33. Had a pretty good night. First order of business, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I bought it just to take a picture of it. It was a s'more. That's not a bad thing. It was a good s'more, but I feel like so many people were like, "Ah, it's so good. It's a s'more." So yeah, it's chocolate and marshmallow, but overall we had a good night. I mean, so far the houses this year, I only had one dud. We obviously have missed a decent amount, but I think the ones we missed were some of the ones that I'm most excited for. Not Insidious though, because I have heard from multiple sources that that is not a fun house. That is horrifying. Multiple people are saying it's the scariest house in a long time, and I'm scared to go in it. But plenty of other ones we missed, like Monstros, and we also missed Slaughter Cinema. There's a few we missed. So I'm excited to come back. We'll be back very, very soon. So stay tuned for our continued time at Horror Nights. I'm going to be here a lot over the next month and a half, 2 months, because I love this event. I'm a big fan of the horror. I just think it's a fun event. It's really fun to go with friends and stuff. It's just a good time overall. So thanks for watching. I hope this video brought a little more joy into your day, and we'll see you guys next time.